So by now, we all know of the game mode that Hell Let Loose was trying to introduce after the British. It was a smaller player count, smaller section of St. Mary Glees surrounding Bracour Manor, and you had to blow up some guns. Sounded very interesting. However, with an absolutely shocking trailer, which I kindly fixed, the game mode was halted until the game can be turned around and the many bugs and gameplay issues can be addressed. I feel like now we may be getting close to that mission objective. Even with 14.4 patch being rolled out like a sexy sausage and being retracted again before most of us even got a little nibble, I think this was definitely the right move, because if the game was left in a state where half the player base couldn't even play it, there would be hell to pay. I mean, there's still people whining, obviously, but that's just the way they are, that can't be helped. So, with all that in mind, my little brain started to wonder what other game modes could possibly be introduced into Hell Let Loose that still maintain a level of authenticity and immersion. Now, I'm not talking about adding arms race or a battle royale or something silly like that, as that would break the game's core design. I was more looking at specialized game modes based on real battle situations, most of which happen naturally in the game, but obviously you can't always manufacture them. And some of these are the best situations ever. So, with that in mind, these could bring some freshness and some rejuvenation and other words that mean all the things I'm talking about into the game. Now, this is the point I usually say I've rambled for far too long and on with the video, but before I do say that, if you like any of my ideas, leave a like and subscribe for more. Join the Discord for memes, link is in the description. Right, rambling over, let's go. First up, we have Convoy. Now, as the name suggests, one team is in a convoy. Genius. The other has to ambush and destroy the convoy before it reaches its destination. So everyone plays a part in this game mode, especially the engineers who can help repair the tanks and trucks as they get damaged along the way. Now, the enemy engineers can build obstacles and lay mines and basically have an absolute laugh. Everyone else's job is to keep the convoy moving and protect it at all costs. Now, some changes would need to be made for spawning, such as the half track could possibly allow spawning even while it is on the move, and enemy garrisons are potentially pre-placed at a reasonable distance to just keep it a little bit balanced and a little bit fun. Now, I'll be honest, I don't expect anyone, or very few, of the convoy teams to make it, but that's the fun and the challenge. The tension in this game mode would be palpable. Plus, just watching some of the crazy ambushes people think up would just make for hilarious watching. Now, let me know what you think down in the comments, or how would you improve on my idea. Next is Armored Warfare. Essentially, what it says on the tin is Warfare game mode, but with way more tank. In fact, only tanks. Each team has to capture points, just like in Warfare. These will obviously be increased in size for the tanks and the numbers, as otherwise it's going to be absolute chaos, all these tanks rolling into one point. So to allow it to be a bit more strategic, a little bit less cluttered, increase their size, maybe less of them, maybe only 3. And then everyone jumps in a tank and chaos ensues, I hope. It's very basic, very simple idea, but I do think, given that there is a large community of Hell Let Loose players that only play tank, and a lot of others who would love to play tank but never get the chance because all the other tank players are already in the tanks being a tank, people that want to be in a tank are stuck there going, man, I wish I was in a tank. Not with this game mode. Everyone gets a tank. You get a tank. They get a tank. I'm going to get in a tank. I will actually be getting in a tank soon with Chunky and Rex. We will try again. But let me know what you think. And to stay in the same vein, we're going to talk about Armored Offensive. Again, exactly what it says on the tin. I realise this seems like a cop-out, but think about it. The enemy team, the defenders if you will, they have some tanks, not as many as the attackers, but they have the ability to build anti-tank guns. And they'll have maybe a head start of an extra minute or 2 to get these gun emplacements built, structures, fortifications, what have you, anything to hold off these bastard tanks. Now obviously there is only one anti-tank role, but engineer can have mines and some of the other kits have satchels, so there is possibilities for the infantry to help hold back, which I feel you do need some infantry in this one, but maybe only on the defender's side, whereas the attackers are only armored. Will this work? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Could this possibly work? One team, only tank, attacking fortified positions and moving through the map just like a normal offensive game mode. I personally think it would be great fun. I'm not sure how hard that would be to code or change. Probably impossible. Having said that, I'd still love it. I'd happily just sit there on an AT gun, pounding shells downrange, trying to hit tanks. Just satisfying. So next up, we have a game mode that I have geniusly called Surrounded, and as you might guess, you are surrounded. The defending team will have one objective: defend one capture point. They will get an extra 3 minutes or 4, whatever seems appropriate. I don't know, I'm not a game designer. And that time is to be used wisely. Building defensive structures, building AT guns, laying mines in roads, anti-personnel mines in tight little corridors, getting your MG set up, getting your sniper team set up, and prepare for the oncoming onslaught. Now the attackers will have 4 garrisons placed at 4 points around the capture point, and their job is to get in and capture it. Now the garrison that the defenders have will be in the center point. You'll also be allowed to place OPs, maybe have 2 garrisons just to change things up, but otherwise you would, one person gets in, that's it, you can never spawn again. Then again, that might just make you more reliant on OPs. Like, don't get me wrong, this game mode is going to be chaotic, it's going to be torturous at points, but it will focus all the attention on one style of gameplay, and it will most likely be a shorter round. I don't think anyone's going to be able to hold out for 90 whole minutes. Then again, I've seen some incredible games where people have done just that, but on average I think it will be a lot quicker, a lot more intense, and you'll have people just coming up with crazy ways to get in, and, you know, deception. The main force is attacking on the southern side, and then everyone moves around to the northern side to sneak in. I say everyone, a squad. Sniper teams become effective at picking off artillery gunners, enemy snipers, machine gunners. All the roles still become very, very relevant, and I think that's the key into any game mode I've mentioned. The roles still need to matter because that's what the game is built around. I don't know, maybe I'm chatting absolute nonsense. Let me know down in the comments. So saving the best for last is a D-Day Invasion mode, which I'm going to call D-Day -1. Now I can take absolutely no credit for this, as this was provided in a comment on one of my videos. So I'm going to read what he wrote, and it's actually a brilliant idea. I really like it, and this would make for, like, this could be really tricky to make, but it would work. Now it's based off of my idea, and he's kind of expanded on my idea of the campaign game mode, but he's expanded it in a way where it's actually really good, other than my half-assed attempt at making a game mode. So, D-Day Invasion, Phase 1, Nighttime. Americans are all given paratrooper skins and special classes, and each squad is assigned to a special objective. Americans have no squad or leadership communication, only local chat. Americans spawn at random places across the inland side of the map. German team is assigned to defend certain key points around the map. Everyone has 1 life, and there is a time limit of 30 minutes. If you survive the night as a paratrooper, you spawn in that position for Phase 2. If the German commander is killed, no commander can take his spot for the next phase. Phase 2 is the morning. If you died as an American in Phase 1, you spawn in the landing craft in Phase 2. If you start Phase 2 as a paratrooper and die, you respawn as a regular soldier on the beat. Phase 2, all communications are re-established. If any position was destroyed the night before, then that position will not need to be taken in the offensive game mode in Phase 2. He goes on to explain, this game mode will perfectly represent the absolute chaos little groups of paratroopers caused that led to the success of D-Day. If you can't form little groups and work together to accomplish your mission, then the troops on the beach will face a full-scale offensive game mode. If you are successful and killing the German high command or setting satchel charges at enemy positions, American forces on the beach will wipe the slate clean of the Germans. Now this is absolutely brilliant. Like, obviously there needs to be refinements in places, and it's probably next to impossible to actually implement. However, just think about how much fun that game mode would be, especially night 1. But the thing that would make it feel so important and so tense and so gritty would be knowing how much you're going to impact the next day. It gives you much higher stakes than a normal game would, because you know the next day is going to be way worse if you don't do it. And you've only got 30 minutes, so you're fighting your lizard brain to just hide the entire time and sneak really, really slowly across the map. You still got to be quick and do it. Now, one thing I wanted to implement would be some way of using a clicker to identify friends from foe, but that might be a bit too far-fetched. I just like the idea of maybe just having the clicker in the game so you can do it whenever you want, but that's the closest Hell Let Loose should ever get to some kind of emote, is just using the American clicker. If you don't know what I mean, Google it, or watch Band of Brothers. It's awesome. Anyway, that was my 5 game mode ideas for Hell Let Loose. Probably none of them will get made, but I can still fantasize to myself late at night when I should be sleeping. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe for more, as it is the best way to support me. Join the Discord for memes aplenty, and I will see you all in the next one.